Hello, I'm Felix Warren, and today we're going to rank some demons. Now, I've been working with demons since about 1999 or so it's been around 23 years. And in that time, I have never actually ranked all of the demons listed in the Book of the Goetia that's in the Lesser Key of Solomon. And shame on me! How could I have possibly neglected such an important duty? So now I'm gonna rectify that, and we're gonna do this, and it's all gonna be official. Which demon is on top? Which demon is on the bottom? Whatever. So how we're gonna go about this? Obviously, I have the little ranking system up here. Now, what logic am I ranking them according to? I decided to just I'm going to read the description out, and then I'm going to decide, according to the description, whether or not the abilities and the nature of them and other things that are like apparent in the actual description of the demon, whether that earns them like a S rank in terms of like if you would want to work with them in general. Like if I was going to recommend a demon to someone, then I would look at this list and recommend the top demon on the list. And then, kind of down from there, it would sort of rank. So, and then if they're in detention at the very bottom, that would be like an advisory either not to work with them or to at least proceed with caution, which I think is warranted with a couple of these fellows. So, let's see. I do have a couple of secrets about my ranking system here, which you might actually know if you already know some alchemy, then it won't be big news to you, but I'll explain what it is that I did with the colors and the metals here in the list at the end of the video if you want to stick around for that. And now, let's just get right into it. Let me pull up our first demon, Baal. The first principal spirit is a king ruling in the east called Baal. He maketh thee to go invisible. He ruleth over 66 legions of infernal spirits. He appeareth in diverse shapes, sometimes like a cat, sometimes like a toad, and sometimes like a man, sometimes all these forms at once. He speaketh hoarsely. This is his character, which is to be used as a layman before him who calleth him forth, etc. I'm not going to really read that last part. It's always in every single description. Here's his character used before you, so he doesn't mess with you, and like at some point you kind of know that. So it doesn't make any of them different whatsoever. Let's see. The thing is, Baal is like kind of a big time demon if you read in mythology, because like he's kind of a big deal. Also, he's a king, which ranks him up there. Now the thing is, according to his description, he really doesn't do a lot. He can make you invisible. So basically, Cloak of Invisibility, Demon Edition. 66 Legions is kind of up there, but there's nothing really said about what it is that his familiars are like, so you don't really know if these are legions of spirits that are good for familiar use or are good for other purposes. Nothing's really given here. Now, it seems like he can appear in some diverse shapes that might help for whenever you want him to appear around you. Maybe it's better for whenever he's a frog instead of a man. I don't know. But really, Baal's kind of a big deal whenever you read media about him, but he can't really do a lot here. So I'm gonna put him in B rank because, like, I think that as a king, he's still a big deal, but and the invisibility is pretty noteworthy. It's just that he doesn't really do a lot of other things, which is kind of surprising considering who he is. All right, so Agaris. Now, Agaris and Visago are kind of like twins. It'll say that in Visago's entry. So I'm just going to put them at the same rank whenever I get to Visago. I'm just going to put Visago where Agaris went. The second spirit is a duke called Agrius or Agaris. He is under the power of the east, cometh up in the form of an old fair man riding upon a crocodile, carrying a goshawk upon his fist, and yet mild in appearance. He maketh them to run that stand still, and bringeth back runaways. teaches all languages or tongues presently, so ones that are presently spoken. He hath power also to destroy dignities, both spiritual and temporal, and causeth earthquakes. He was of the order of virtues, and he hath under his government 31 legions of spirits. So, things that can be done. Can make people go away, can bring people back, can teach you all languages that are currently spoken. Now, destroying dignities, both spiritual and temporal. I feel like that's referring to something that very specific that is a little bit hard to really vocalize right now. Some books translate that different. And causes earthquakes. The thing is, not all of these are things that I really always need. So I'm going to say that this is a C rank demon, and I'm going to put Visago right there next to Agaris. So next demon is going to be Samagina or Gamagim. The fourth spirit is Samagina, a great marquis. He appeareth in the form of a little horse or ass, and then into human shape doth he change himself at the request of the master. He speaketh with a hoarse voice, he rules over 30 legions of inferiors, teaches all liberal sciences, and gives account of the dead souls that died in sin. And this is his seal. So, liberal sciences, all liberal sciences actually is a pretty big deal. I don't really know if the account of the dead souls that died in sin is all that useful. And it really depends on what your definition is of that. So that's kind of like one really good ability, and then one that's kind of eh. I think that's basically another C rank. I like the all liberals. That was all liberal sciences, right? Yeah, that's like, I can't slide that down to D. That's actually pretty good. So Marbus. The fifth spirit is Marbus. He is a great president, and appeareth at first in the form of a great lion, but afterwards at the request of the master he putteth on human shape. He answereth truly of things hidden or secret, causeth diseases, and cure them. Diseaseth. Again, he giveth great wisdom and knowledge in mechanical arts. He can change men into other shapes, and he governs 36 legions of spirits. He has a polymorph potion. Can do mechanical arts, cause and cure diseases, and answer about hidden or secret things. So that's A rank in my opinion. Lots of really good things there. I think that S rank is for complete jack of all trades, but that is definitely enough for silver in my opinion. So, Valifor. The sixth spirit is Valifor. He is a mighty duke, and appeareth in the shape of a lion with an ass's head, bellowing. He is a good familiar, but tempteth them he is a familiar of to steal. He governs 10 legions of spirits. So, he doesn't have a lot of legions. There's an actual downside to working with him. I'm gonna put him in detention. If there's an actual downside to working with them, there are so many other demons that do familiars. There's not really you gotta have a higher level of appeal here whenever there's 72 of these. Alright, Amon. The seventh spirit is Amon. He is a marquis, great in power and most stern. He appears like a wolf with a serpent's tail, vomiting out of his mouth flames of fire. But at the command of the magician, he puts on the shape of a man with dog's teeth, beset in a head like a raven, or else a man with a raven's head, simply, so without the dog's teeth. He telleth of all things past and to come. So past and future prophecy. Procureth feuds and reconcileth controversies between friends. Make friends and unfriend people. And he governs 40 legions of spirits. So this is kind of a D rank. Nothing super compelling here, but also nothing that would make you want to not work with this demon. So I think D is about where that goes. I want to note this is just based off of the description. So if there's stuff like astrological correspondences or other reasons why you would be working with these demons, then that kind of supersedes this ranking here. All of this is just me sort of spitballing. Also, after I've ranked them across all of the tiers, I'm going to go back and put them in order from left to right in terms of, I'd say, useful and like most useful and least useful. So that's whenever I'll narrow down those tiers. That way I don't get too bogged down in this beginning stuff here. So that's where Amon goes. Barbatos. The 8th spirit is Barbatos. He is a great duke and appeareth when the sun is in Sagittary, with 4 noble kings and their companies of great troops. He giveth understanding of the singing of birds and the voices of other creatures, such as the barking of dogs, so Dr. Dolittle effect. He breaketh the hidden treasures open that have been laid by the enchantments of magicians. I don't really know how often that happens. He is the order of virtues, of which some part he retaineth still. That's probably pretty good. And he knoweth of all things past and to come, and concealeth friends and those that be in power. So you can get good with those in power, or you can get good with your friends. Knowledge of past and to come. It rules over 30 legions of spirits. And yeah, those are all pretty good and pretty interesting abilities. I think that is a rank. So let's see, and then we have Paimon. The 9th spirit in this order is Paimon. By the way, I may pronounce this differently than you pronounce it, or I've heard it pronounced, and I know that Paimon and some other demons, I am probably pronouncing it in quotations wrong, and I know a lot of people pronounce it Paimon. Work with me here. The 9th spirit in this order is Paimon, a great king, and very obedient unto Lucifer. He appeareth in the form of a man sitting upon a dromedary with a crown most glorious upon his head. There goeth before him also a host of spirits, like men with trumpets and well-sounding cymbals, and all sorts of musical instruments. He hath a great voice, and roareth at his first coming, and his speech is such that the magician cannot well understand him unless he can compel him. This spirit can teach all arts and sciences and other secret things. He can discover unto thee what the earth is, and what holdeth it up in the waters, and what mind is, and where it is. So, by the way, I believe that this is basically physics and psychology, or any other thing thou mayest desire to know. He giveth dignity, and confirmeth the same. He bindeth or maketh any man subject unto the magician if he so desire it. He giveth good familiars, and such as can teach all arts. He is to be observed towards the west. He is of the order of dominations. He hath under him 200 legions of spirits, and part of them are the order of angels, and the other part of potentates. Now if thou callest the spirit Paimon alone, thou must make him some offering, and there will attend him 2 kings, named Labal and Baalbalim, and also other spirits who will be of the order of potentates in his host, and 25 legions. And those spirits which be subject unto them are not always with them unless the magician do compel them. So basically, he's going to come with company. So there's a little bit of a caveat with working with Paimon, but because he's of such amazing ability, I'm going to put him at S rank. So that is what an S rank demon looks like. And Paimon is also one of the 4 kings of that kind of rule over all of the Goetia. There's a couple of the demons in the list that do that, but Paimon's the most well-known one. That's why he's got such like a pumped up description there. Buer. The 10th spirit is Buer, a great president. He appeareth in Sagittary, and that is his shape when the sun is there. He teaches philosophy, both moral and natural, and the logic art, and also the virtues of all herbs and plants. By the way, philosophy used to be basically science. So natural philosophy, you're looking at basically natural sciences, like you're looking at physics. Logic art would be mathematics. So sometimes it is also just logic, but some of this terminology is for stuff that we don't really do in college the same now. We didn't really have schooling the same back in the 1500s. So, yeah, what these things mean is a little different now. And also the virtue of all herbs and plants. He healeth all distempers in men, and giveth good familiars. He governeth 50 legions of spirits. So, can teach all of these arts and sciences, all virtues of herbs and plants, the logic art, can heal distemper, so basically heal mental illness, and gives good familiars that don't tempt you to steal. So this is also, in my opinion, an S rank demon. There's like basically no downsides and a lot of very interesting and powerful stuff, and like since he gives good familiars, you're kind of covered in all ways. Even if he's not gonna be there to handle certain things for you, the familiar will be able to. So the 11th spirit in order is a great and strong duke called Gusion. He appeareth like a Xenopolis. By the way, that's probably a misspelling of something that is a dog-headed entity, like a Xenopolis, or it's a character in history called Xenopolis. I believe that was a Greek general, and so there's a lot of debate as to which it is, and if it's something else entirely. But if you've been wondering what the heck is a Xenopolis, well, that's two theories as to what it is. He telleth all things, past, present, and to come, and showeth the meaning and resolution of all questions thou mayest ask. He concealeth and reconcileth friendships, and give honor and dignity unto any, and he rules over 40 legions of spirits. I'm going to put this at A rank, and what really tips it over for me is that if you summon Gusion, you will be able to figure out what a Xenopolis is because you'll be looking at him. So I think that kind of like puts him over the edge from B to A. The 12th spirit is Citri. He is a great prince and appeareth at first with a leopard's head and the wings of a griffin, but after the command of the master of the exorcism, he putteth on human shape, and that very beautiful. He inflameth men with women's love, and women with men's love, and causeth them also to show themselves naked if be desired. And he governs 60 legions of spirits. So he's just the orgy demon. Like, he's basically an incubus, and this is, like, you don't even need to summon a demon to get this stuff done. It's such a basic level of, like, the magical arts or, like, the psychic or psychology arts. It's basically just seduction. So I'm putting Citri in F rank because, like, you could do better. Even to do the, like, causing the love of, like, people to come together. Like if you want to do, like, the sex magic stuff, you could still pick a better demon than this. So, like, it's not at the F rank. There are not detriments that make it really bad to work with the demon. That would be over in detention. It's just that it's like, if you go here, it must be because you have a specific purpose in it. You're definitely not doing it according to, like, the basic abilities that they have. Let's see. The 13th spirit is called Beleth. He is a mighty king and terrible. He rideth on a pale horse with trumpets and other kinds of musical instruments playing before him. He is very furious at his first appearance, that is, while the exorcist layeth his courage. For to do this he must hold a hazel wand in his hand, striking it outwards towards the south and east corners, making a triangle without the circle, and then command him into it by the bonds and charges of spirits, as hereafter followeth. And if he doth not enter the triangle, at your threats release the bonds and charms before him, and then he will yield obedience and come into it, and do what is commanded. Yet he must receive him courteously, because he's also a great king, and do homage unto him, as the kings and princes do that attend upon him. And thou must have always a silver ring on the middle finger of the left hand, held against thy face, as they do yet before a Maimon, as in one of the 4 kings. Hint, hint. This great king Beleth causeth all the love that may be, both of men and of women, until the master exorcist has had his desire fulfilled. He is of the order of powers, and he governeth 85 legions of spirits. Well, guess what? I will say it's better to work with Citri than to work with Belith, because at least with Citri you don't have to go around you don't have to go through all of that trouble. So Belith is going in detention. That's just too much fuss. Just to do the sex stuff, which pretty much any demon can do. The 14th spirit is called Larage. He is a marquis great in power, showing himself in the likeness of an archer clad in green, and carrying a bow and quiver. He causeth all great battles and contests, and maketh wounds to putrefy that are made with arrows by archers. This belongeth unto Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the archer. He governs 30 legions of spirits. So, archer, it's Legolas. He can cause battles and contests, and make wounds putrefy that are pierced by... It's gross war-torn Legolas. I see. There's actually a use for this if you're if I was in Ukraine, I'd summon this demon. So I'm gonna put this D rank because there's actually a use here, but it's kind of specialist at this point. There's a specialty, and it's usually not going to be something that you need. Most people don't need to go to war with arrows and cause infectious wounds. Fact. So, let's see who the next demon is. The 15th spirit in order is Eligos, a great duke, and appeareth in the form of a goodly knight, carrying a lance, an ensign, and a serpent. He discovereth hidden things, and knoweth things to come, and of wars, and how the soldiers will or shall meet. He causeth the love of lords and great persons, and he governs 60 legions. So here you can have the cause love thing, but you can also have discovering hidden things, knowing what's what's in the future. You'll have knowledge of what's going on in wars, which, by the way, there's a lot of wars happening in the world right now, so that's current events kind of stuff. That's helpful. And how the soldiers will or shall meet, which basically means how the battles are going to go down. And so causing the love of lords and great persons, important people. So I'm going to rank Eligos up in A, because that's going up there. I've worked with Eligos quite a lot, so it's hard not to be biased, and it's hard not to just factor in all the knowledge that I have of Eligos through my personal work. But one of the reasons that I decided to work with Eligos in the first place is because his description was pretty compelling, in that he knew all of this. He could do the love stuff, but he also knew all of the tactical things, but didn't have a whole lot of violence associated with him, which some of the demons do. So the balancing of the pros and the cons. The 16th spirit is Zepar. He is a great duke, and appeareth in red apparel and armor like a soldier. His office is to cause women to love men, and to bring them together in love. He also maketh them barren. So, he governeth 60 legions of inferior spirits. They're not even that good. So, there's nothing here that's a detriment to you. So I'm going to give Zepar just an F and not put Zepar in detention, because basically this is risk-free sex. It doesn't even say disease-free. It's just that you're not going to have a kid from having sex if Zepar is the one that causes it. Good job, I guess. Moving on. The 17th spirit is Bodis, a great president and an earl. He appeareth at the first in the show in the form of an ugly viper. Then at the command of the magician he putteth on a human shape with great teeth and 2 horns, and carrying a bright and sharp sword in his hand. And he telleth all things past and to come, and reconcileth friends and foes. And he rules over 60 legions of spirits. So Bodis has kind of I would call it the default package. So not all of this is generally useful. So, C rank demon. No reason not to work with this demon, but no specialty that really vaults them up there into the higher ranks. Wondering when we'll get any more B rank demons. And by the way, if I end up with like way more in one category and way less in a category right under, I'll probably even it out later. It's I don't know if the first time around this will be a very even ranking. We'll see. The 18th spirit is Bathan. He is a mighty and strong duke and appeareth like a strong man with the tail of a serpent, sitting upon a pale-colored horse. He knoweth the virtues of herbs and precious stones, and can transport men suddenly from one country to another. And he rules over 30 legions of spirits. So we have not necessarily teleportation, although it sounds like it, but basically like being able to move you very quickly across the globe physically. Also knowing all of the herb knowledge and all of the gem knowledge, and 30 legions is pretty good. So I'm gonna put this up in B. And no consequences will come upon me because this is all meaningless anyway. The 19th spirit is Salos, or Saleos. He is a great and mighty duke, and appeareth in the form of a gallant soldier riding on a crocodile with a ducal crown on his head, but peaceably. He causeth the love of women to men, and of men to women, and governeth 30 legions of spirits. So, another one of these. Doesn't really do much, but get people to have sex. So... yeah, like, I don't know if F is basically the porn shop or not, but, like, it's interesting to me that they really only have that ability listed. I've always wished for a much more extensive Goetia that wasn't so edited, but we're never going to have that, like, historically, in my opinion. The 20th spirit is Person, a great king. His appearance is comely like a man with a lion's face, carrying a cruel viper in his hand, and riding upon a bear. Going before him are many trumpets sounding. He knoweth all things hidden, and can discover treasure, and tell all things past, present, and to come. He can take a body either human or aerial, enhancer truly of all earthly things, both secret and divine, and of the creation of the world. And he bringeth good familiars, and under his government there be 22 legions of spirits, partially of the order of virtues, and partially of the order of thrones. This is probably an S-rank demon. Knows hidden things, can discover treasure, past, present, and future knowledge. Could take a body that's either human or astral, basically, like, you know, can go through everything. Has no clip on. And answers truthfully about all earthly things, both secret and divine, and of the creation of the world. Bringeth good familiar. Like, I already said that before, but yeah. Let's just put him up there. So, let me make sure that I've got... Yep, that's Person. So, the 21st spirit is Marix. He is a great earl and president. He appears like a great bull with a man's face. His office is to make men very knowing in astronomy and all other liberal sciences. Also, he can give good familiars and wise, knowing the virtue of herbs and stones, which be precious. And he governeth 30 legions of spirits. That's a lot of knowledge, and that's good familiars. I'm trying to figure out whether gold or silver. And I'm going to say up in gold. No reason not to recommend. The 22nd spirit is Epos. He is an earl and a mighty prince, and appeareth in the form of an angel with a lion's head and a goose's foot and a hare's tail. He knoweth all things past, present, and to come. He maketh men witty and bold, and he governeth 36 legions of spirits. I don't know how many of these make you witty, but that's an interesting claim. I'm going to put Epos in B rank, because There's like a lot of good things going on there, but it's like knowing of past, present, and to come is kind of default for everyone. His other ability is making you witty and bold, which is good, like, you know, being like a comedian or just, you know, very charismatic. But the other ones in A rank have like more stuff going on than that. So I think, yeah, B rank is like specialty demons that have kind of edged out, just staying in C. A rank is like kind of an A-list celebrity. Gold is like god tier, which is funny because it's demons. The 23rd spirit is Aim. He's a great, strong duke. He appeareth in the form of a very handsome man in body, but with 3 heads. The first like a serpent, the second like a man having 2 stars on his forehead, and the third like a calf. He rideth on a viper, carrying a firebrand in his hand, wherewith he setteth cities, castles, and great places on fire. And he maketh thee witty in all manner of ways. See, this one makes you witty, but he sets everything on fire. This is fine. And giveth true answers unto private matters. So, this one's going in detention for arson. That's how it is. The 24th spirit is Nabirius. He is a most valiant marquis, and showeth in the form of a black crane fluttering about the circle, and when he speaketh, it is with a hoarse voice. He maketh men cunning in all arts and sciences, but especially in the art of rhetoric. He restoreth lost dignities and honors, and he governs 19 legions of spirits. So we've got all arts and sciences, art of rhetoric especially, restoring lost dignities and honors. I'd say that this is in C rank because it's kind of nothing quite distinguishes that from the others who have like a pretty good list of stuff to do. The rhetoric thing doesn't quite tip over into another grade. May actually put them to, you know, further up on the list within their own rank, though. The 25th spirit is Glaciolabulus. He is a mighty president and earl, and showeth himself in the form of a dog with wings like a griffin. He teacheth all arts and sciences in an instant, and is an author of bloodshed and manslaughter. He teacheth all things past and to come. If desired, he cause the love of both friends and of foes. He can make a man go invisible. And he hath under his command 36 legions of spirits. So it doesn't say what is going on with the author of bloodshed and manslaughter thing. Just says that, oh, by the way, he's a murderer. So that's cool. But, like, it's not, though. And it's a reason to put him in detention, because if you want to be invisible, you could always just summon Baal over in B rank and not have to worry about all of the murders. Imagine that. Bune or Bime. The 26th spirit is Bune or Bim. He is a strong, great, and mighty duke. He appeareth in the form of a dragon with 3 heads, one like a dog, one like a griffin, one like a man. He speaketh with a high and comely voice. He changeth the place of the dead, and causeth the spirits which be under him to gather upon your sepulchres. He giveth riches unto a man, and make him wise and eloquent. He giveth true answers unto demands, and he governs 30 legions of spirits. So, this is pretty much the total package, especially if you want to do some death work or working with, like, you know, spirits, to be able to... It's like sometimes you need to be able to access the place of where the dead is. So if he can change the place of the dead, then he can change it to wherever it is that you are, and you don't have to travel to the gravesite, which is very useful if you're a necromancer. So this is definitely silver rank, especially the summon riches. That's pretty good. Let's see. The 27th spirit is Renove. He appeareth in the form of a monster. He teacheth the art of rhetoric very well, and giveth good servants knowledge of tongues, and favors with friends or foes. He is a marquis and a great earl, and there be under his command 19 legions of spirits. So we have rhetoric, again, good servants, languages, favors with friends or foes. Yeah, I think that's going in C rank. C rank might have to get expanded out later. We'll see. I mean, but like think about it though. Just because there's 3 kids that get a B and 7 kids that get a C doesn't mean that anything has to change. That's just the grade that they got. So I might just leave it like that and then just work it out in how I order them afterward. Let's see. The 28th spirit in order, as Solomon bound them, is named Berith. He is a mighty, great, and terrible duke. He hath 2 other names given unto him by men of later times, viz., Baal or Baal, and Bofri or Balfrey. He appeareth in the form of a soldier with red clothing, riding upon a red horse, and having a crown of gold upon his head. And he gives true answers, past, present, and to come. Thou must maketh use of a ring in calling him forth, as is before spoken of regarding Belith. He can turn all metals into gold. He can give dignities and confirm them unto man. He speaketh with a very clear and subtle voice. Governs 26 legions of spirits. So the gold thing is pretty useful. Answers, past, present, and to come is pretty default, but it is there. It's better than just making people have sex with each other. And you do actually have to do something for him to show up. So, but the gold, the dignities, I think that because of the conflicts there, having to requiring that you have to do something for a demon to show up, I don't know if that's so big of a deal. I still think that this demon belongs in B rank. That's how I feel, and there's no one who can make me change it, so that's how it's going to be. And now it's time for Astaroth. The 29th spirit is Astaroth. He is a mighty, strong duke, and appeareth in the form of an hurtful angel, riding on an infernal beast like a dragon, and carrying in his right hand a viper. Thou must in no wise let him approach too near unto thee, lest he do thee damage by his noisome breath. Wherefore the magician must hold the magical ring near his face, and that will defend him. He giveth true answers of things past, present, and to come, and can discover all secrets. He will declare wittingly how the spirits fell if desired, and the reason of his own fall. He can make men wonderfully knowing in all liberal sciences. He rule over 40 legions of spirits. So you have to do the ring thing, but you're basically supposed to be wearing this ring whenever you do this work anyway, so it's not that much of a task to... If it's all it takes to defend against the noise and breath is just to put the ring against your face, then whatever. So past, present, and to come knowledge, that's kind of all of them. I've got that. Can discover all secrets. We'll talk about how the spirits fell and the reason of his own fall. Can make you know all liberal sciences. I think this is actually C rank, even though Astaroth's kind of a big deal. But that's more whenever you look into the actual mythology of Astaroth. And so, you know what? Nope, B rank. That I cannot avoid that knowledge, and pretty much anybody who works with these demons knows that Astaroth's a big deal, and that Asmodai is a big deal, and Belial is a big deal. So it's I gotta kind of include that, or it just seems ridiculous to ignore it. No occultist would ignore the fact that Astaroth is Astaroth. So yeah, when you've got ties to actual goddess Venus, then it's a big deal. So the 30th spirit is Fornius. He is a mighty and great marquis, and appeareth in the form of a great sea monster. He teacheth and maketh men wonderfully knowing in the art of rhetoric. He causeth men to have a good name, and to have the knowledge and understanding of tongues. He maketh one to be beloved of his foes as well as of his friends. And he governs 29 legions of spirits. Man, this would be a really good demon to work with in the era of social media, making one to be beloved of his foes as well as of his friends. So have a good name, knowledge and understanding of tongues. So basically, you could speak lots of languages, and then have the art of rhetoric. So yeah, that's pretty good. And like right now, you're gonna go over in Mercury. The 31st spirit is Forus. He is a mighty president and appeareth in the form of a strong man in human shape. He can give the understanding to men how they may know the virtues of all herbs and precious stones. He teacheth the arts of logic and ethics in all their parts. If desired, he maketh men invisible, and to live along, and to be eloquent. He can discover treasures and recover things lost. He ruleth over 29 legions of spirits. So, let's see. A form of a strong man in human shape. I wonder if he can lift big furniture for you. That would put him up in S rank. So, gives you the understanding of how you can know the virtues of all herbs and precious stones, logic and ethics in all their parts, make you invisible, and to live long and to be eloquent. Okay, if you can make me live a longer life and all these other things, recover things lost and discover treasures, you're up in S rank. You're that's it. That's the end of the story. Man, there's like a good amount of S rank demons if we're only like we're not even halfway through yet, and like the Goetia looks pretty good, y'all. So the 32nd spirit is Asmodee or Asmodai. He is a great king, strong and powerful. He appeareth with 3 heads, wherefore the first is like a bull, second like a man, and third like a ram. He hath also the tail of a serpent, and from his mouth issue flames of fire. His feet are webbed like those of a goose. He sitteth upon an infernal dragon, and beareth in his hand a lance with a banner. He is first and choicest under the power of a Maimon. He goeth before all other. When the exorcist when the exorcist hath a mind to call him, let it be abroad, and let him stand on his feet all of the time of action, with his cap or headdress off. For if it be on, a Maimon will deceive him, and call all his actions to be bewrayed. But as soon as the exorcist seeth Asmodee in the shape aforesaid, he shall call him by his name, saying, Art thou Asmodee? And he will not deny it, and by he will bow down unto the ground. He giveth the ring of virtues. He teacheth the arts of arithmetic, astronomy, geometry, and all handicrafts absolutely. He giveth true and full answers unto thy demands. He maketh one invincible. He showeth the place where the treasures lie, and guardeth it. He, amongst the legions of a Maimon, governed 72 legions of spirits inferior, and his seal is thus. So he's S rank. You can't really deny it. There's like a reason why Asmodee has such freaking press, and like you heard it all just now. That is just an S rank demon entry in the Goetia. You're welcome. Alright, let's see what else this book has to offer. The 33rd spirit is Gab. He is a great president and mighty prince. He appeareth when the sun is in some of the southern signs, in a human shape, going before the 4 great and mighty kings, as if he were a guide to conduct them along their way. His office is to make men insensible or, paragraph continues, ignorant, as also in philosophy to make them knowing. So his office is to make men insensible or ignorant, and is also in philosophy to make them knowing. So he can make them dumb or smart. And in all the liberal sciences, he can cause love or hatred. And he can teach thee to consecrate those things that belong to the dominion of a Maimon, his king. He can deliver familiars out of the custody of other magicians, and answereth truly and perfectly of things past, present, and to come. And you can do a lot of magician sabotage with this one. He can carry and recarry men very speedily from one kingdom to another. At the will and pleasure of the exorcist, he ruleth over 66 legions of spirits, and he was of the order of potentates. So that's That's quite a lot. I'm let's see. The delivery of familiars out of custody can make you go places and come back. Um, cause love or hatred. You can consecrate things to that name on. I don't really know how much that's of use, but it is there. Know all the liberal sciences. I'm gonna put this in A rank. There's really not a wealth thing here, and that would put it over the edge. And I think the making men insensible thing is kind of a specialty thing. It's not really something you typically need to use. The 34th spirit is Furfur. He is a great and mighty earl, appearing in the form of an hart with a fiery tail. He never speaketh truth unless he be compelled, or brought within a triangle. Being therein, he will take upon himself the form of an angel. Being bidden, he speaketh with a hoarse voice. Also he will wittingly urge love between man and a woman. He can raise lightnings and thunders, blasts, and great tempestuous storms, and he give true answers both of things secret and divine if commanded. So you have to be careful, because unless you put him in the triangle, he's not going to speak the truth, but you're supposed to put all of them in the triangle. So, like, basically, here it's saying that there's a reason you put him in the triangle. And so tells the truth, love between men and women, cause bad weather, give true answers of things that are secret. This is getting into D rank. Like, has some use in my opinion if you need the thunder and storms and lightning, but not something that really compels to put in the general use or the good specialty stuff. 33rd spirit is Marchiosus. He is a great and mighty marquis, appearing at first in the form of a wolf, having griffin's wings and a serpent's tail, and vomiting fire out of his mouth. But after a time, at the command of the exorcist, he putteth on the shape of a man. And he be a strong fighter. He was of the order of dominations. He governs 30 spirits. He told his chief, who was Solomon, that after 1200 years he had hopes to return unto the 7th throne. And his seal is this. So, he's a strong fighter. And that's it. There's nothing else here other than the aspirations. So, no specific, like, there's no detriments, but there's not, yeah, it's like F rank. There was actually a detriment, wasn't there? Yeah, it was like, breathing fire at first, so you have to, like, wait around for him to calm. So, yeah, that's F rank. Stolas. The 36th spirit is Stolas. He is a great and powerful prince, appearing in the shape of a mighty raven at the first before the exorcist. But after he taketh the image of a man, he teacheth the art of astronomy and the virtues of herbs and precious stones. He governs 26 legions of spirits. So, teaches astronomy, herbalism, and gemology. That's, I'd say, C rank. Now, who have we got next? The 37th spirit is Phoenix, or Phoenix. He is a great marquis, and appeareth like the bird phoenix, having the voice of a child. He singeth many sweet notes before the exorcist, which he must not regard, but by and by he must bid him put on human shape. Then he will speak marvelously of all things, wonderful sciences, if required. He is a poet, good and excellent, and he will be willing to perform thy requests. He hath hopes also to return to the 7th throne after 1200 years more, as he said unto Solomon, and he governs 20 legions of spirits. So, you gotta be careful. Apparently he has a hypnotic song that he sings before you make him put on human shape. So there's like something to watch out for. But, not too much to get, like, that's pretty easy to deal with. Then he will speak marvelously of all wonderful sciences. All wonderful sciences. So science, poet, will be willing to perform thy requests. So also kind of fetch and carry type of stuff. I think that this is gonna be... I'm gonna put this in D rank because you do need to be wary, so that kind of does add a detriment. And there's other demons that can also do the same thing. But Phoenix is also really interesting, and I think if you wanted to work with Phoenix in particular, then that would really supersede anything that's on this list. The 38th spirit is Halphus or Malthus or Malthus. He is a great earl and appeareth in the form of a stock dove. He speaketh with a hoarse voice. His office is to build up towers and to furnish them with ammunition and weapons and to send men of war to places appointed. So, this is going to go in D rank because you usually don't need this. If you do need this, I'm sorry. I hope things go well for you. The 39th spirit is Malthus. He appeareth at first like a crow, but afterward he will put on human shape at the request of the exorcist, and speak with a hoarse voice. He is a mighty president and powerful. He can build houses and high towers, and can bring to thy knowledge enemies' desires and thoughts, and that which they have done. He giveth good familiars. If thou makest a sacrifice unto him, he will receive it kindly and willingly, but he will deceive him that doth it. He governs 40 legions of spirits. So... let's see, can build things, can bring to thy knowledge your enemies' desires and thoughts, and that which they have done. Gives good familiars. You shouldn't give him a sacrifice, because whoever gives a sacrifice to, he will deceive. Interesting. So, usually you don't give sacrifices to them anyway. Governs 40 legions of spirits. So the knowledge of enemies' desires and thoughts is pretty compelling. I'd say Malthus is a B rank demon. Not quite an A rank because you need to be a little wary. But like it definitely distinguishes himself above the C rank demons. So the 40th spirit is Raum. He is a great earl and appeareth at first in the form of a crow, but after the command of the exorcist he put on human shape. His office is to steal treasures out of kings' houses and to carry it whither he is commanded, and to destroy cities and dignities of men, and to tell of all things past, and what is, and what will be, and to cause love between friends and foes. He was of the Order of Thrones, and he governs 30 legions of spirits. So, destroy cities and the dignities of men isn't great, and you usually don't need that. But you don't also... you can do other things, like steal treasures out of kings' houses. So do we consider that to be a Robin Hood thing, or are these good kings that we actually favor? Tell of all things past and what is and what will be. Love between friends and foes. All of this sounds kind of sketch. I think that Raum is sketch. If you're sketch, you get to go and into detention. So Raum's going in detention. Alright, the 41st spirit is Focalor, or Forcalor, or Furcalor. He is a mighty duke and strong. He appeareth in the form of a man with griffin's wings. His office is to slay men, and to drown them in the waters, and to overthrow ships of war, for he hath power over both winds and seas. But he will not hurt any man or thing if he be commanded to the contrary by the exorcist. He also hath hopes to return to the 7th throne after 1,000 years, and he governs 30 legions of spirits. So it's interesting. He can do all of these wartime things, but apparently he can do it without killing anyone if instructed to. The thing is, that's the only thing he does, so I'm going to put him in F rank. Not in... this is again, technically there's that one use, but I just... is it F or D? F or D? The fact that he can do all that without killing anyone, though. I'm gonna put that over in D. This is specialist stuff that you wouldn't always need and no one ever really should need, but the fact that he can do all that without killing anyone is a lot more interesting than just, Murder face, murder face, murder face. So the 42nd spirit is Vapar or Vafar. He is a great duke and strong, and appeareth like a mermaid. His office is to govern the waters and to guide ships laden with arms, armor, and ammunition, etc. thereon. So to guide your warships. And at the request of the exorcist, he can cause the seas to be stormy and to appear full of ships. And he also maketh men to die in 3 days by putrefying wounds or sores, and causing worms to breed in them. It's the worst thing ever. He governs 29 legions of spirits. So, he doesn't have to make men die by giving them worm-affected wounds. So the other things that he can do is basically guide the water ships through the waters, and cause an illusion of wartime enemies. So if you're a Navy guy, this is really useful, and if you're not, it's not. I'm going to put Vapar in D rank because of that specialty stuff. There's nothing else here that it says that you can go to Vapar for is the thing. Now, outside of this particular guidance, I found Vapar is very useful for lots of things. So, like, govern the waters. Now, if it wasn't warships and it was all ships, I'm gonna leave it in D rank, but like I'm gonna just go ahead and put Vapar like all the way up here in the front of D rank, to kind of imply, like, yeah, to just kind of save myself some work there too. So, all right. Sabnock, the 43rd spirit, as King Solomon commanded them into the vessel of brass, is called Sabnock or Savnock. He is a marquis, mighty, great, and strong, appearing in the form of an armed soldier with a lion's head, riding on a pale-colored horse. His office is to build high towers, castles, and cities, and to furnish them with armor, etc. Also, he can afflict men for many days with wounds and with sores rotten and full of worms. Wow, where have I heard that before? He giveth good familiars at the request of the exorcist. So he commandeth 50 legions of spirits, and his seal is thus, etc. Okay, so he has to be a rank above Vapar because he can do a little bit more than the stuff said before. Still very wartime, but the giving good familiars kind of puts him over the edge into C rank, in my opinion. So apparently that's what it takes. Alright. The 44th spirit is Shax, or Shaz, or Shas. He is a great marquis and appeareth in the form of a stock dove, speaking with a hoarse voice, but subtle. His office is to take away the sight, hearing, or understanding of any men or women at the command of the exorcist, and to steal money out of the houses of kings, and to carry it again in 1200 years. In 1200 years? I wonder if they mixed that up with the 1200 years I'll come back thing. If commanded, he will fetch horses at the request of the exorcist, or any other thing. But he must be first commanded into a triangle, or else he will deceive him and tell him many lies. He can discover all things that are hidden and not kept by wicked spirits. He gives good familiars sometimes. Only sometimes? Governs 30 legions of spirits, and his seal is thus. Alright, so what are the downsides? He can take away the sight, hearing, or understanding of any man or woman at the command of the exorcist. Steal money out of the houses of kings. Carry it again in 1200 years, which is question mark. If commanded, he will fetch horses at the request of the exorcist or any other thing. So you can get pretty much anything you want. Has to be commanded in a triangle, or it will tell you a lot of lies. Giveth good familiar sometime. This is... Like, I'd say we found another B rank demon. Not quite an A rank, but definitely interesting. 45th spirit is Vine or Vinea. He is a great king and an earl, and appeareth in the form of a lion, riding upon a black horse and bearing a viper in his hand. His office is to discover things hidden, witches, wizards, and things present, past, and to come. He, at the command of the exorcist, will build towers, overthrow great stone walls, and make the waters rough with storms. He governed 36 legions of spirits. So, let's see. Well, just to see like a lion riding a black horse would be pretty cool. Discovering things hidden, witches, wizards, and things present, past, and to come. So knowing lots of things. Will build towers, overthrow great stone walls, and make the waters rough with storms. So I'd say still a C rank demon. Since some of that stuff isn't really very useful for most people right now, but it is impressive. The 46th spirit is called Bifrons, or Bifrus, or Bifruves. He is an earl and appeareth in the form of a monster, but after a while, at the command of the exorcist, he putteth on the shape of a man. His office is to make one knowing in astrology, geometry, and other arts and sciences. He teacheth the virtue of precious stones and woods. He changeth dead bodies and putteth them in another place. And also he lighteth seeming candles upon the graves of the dead. Hath under his command 6 legions of spirits. Only 6, interesting. So, astrology, geometry, other arts and sciences, precious stones and woods, interesting necromancy abilities as well. So, I'm gonna put that up in B rank. Alright, now the 47th spirit, Vuval or Voval, is a duke great, mighty, and strong, and appeareth in the form of a mighty dromedary at first. After a while, at the command of the exorcist, he putteth on a human shape, and speaketh the Egyptian tongue, but not perfectly. Well, then what does he speak perfectly? His office is to procure the love of woman, and to tell things past, present, and to come. And he also procureth friendship between friends and foes. It was the order of potestates, that must be potentates, or powers, and he governs 37 legions of spirits. So, procure the love of women, past, present, and future knowledge, which is that they all pretty much have. Get friendship between friends and foes. I'd say we're in like D rank. Can do a little bit more than the F rank demons, but kind of wanting for a few things here. Alright, the 48th spirit is Hagenti. He is a president appearing in the form of a mighty bull with griffin's wings. This is at first, but after, at the command of the exorcist, he putteth on human shape. His office is to make things wise, to make men wise, and to instruct them in diverse things, and also to transmute all metals into gold, and to change wine into water, and water into wine. Oh, he does the Jesus thing. He governs 33 legions of spirits, and his seal is thus. Alright, make you wise, instruct him in diverse things, transmute all metals into gold, and wine into water, water into wine. I'd say do we have ourselves an A rank or a B rank here? The instruction, the transmute all metals into gold, and the wine, water, wine thing. I'd say that this is a material because of the metal transmutation. That's pretty impressive. And that's literally alchemy, which means that he'll be able to teach you alchemy as well. Transmutation is always pretty impressive. Alright, the 49th spirit is Crokel or Crokel. He appeareth in the form of an angel. He is a duke great and strong, speaking something mystically of hidden things. He teacheth the art of geometry and the liberal sciences, and he at the command of the exorcist will produce great noises like the rushings of many waters, although there be none. He warmeth waters and discovereth baths. He was of the order of potestates or powers before his fall, as he declared unto the king Solomon. And he governeth 48 legions of spirits. So, geometry, liberal sciences, make big noises like the rushing of many waters, which not only can you make, like, I'm sure some pretty interesting sound effects, but I'm just kind of thinking that wouldn't it be great if that also meant that Croquel was a white noise generator for when you're sleeping? Oh my gosh, like that cat robot does in the Lightyear movie, which might be one of the only times in there that things are really funny happening in there. All right. So makes the rushing of many waters. Warmeth waters and discovereth baths. That is, I have not seen the other one. So this is getting into dowsing type of stuff. I'm putting Croquel up in silver. I don't have a working hot water heater in my house right now, so he warmeth waters sounds really appealing right now, so I might be just a little bit biased. All right. The 50th spirit is Furcus. He is a knight and appeareth in the form of a cruel old man with a long beard and a hoary head, riding upon a pale-colored horse with a sharp weapon in his hand. His office is to teach the arts of philosophy, astrology, rhetoric, logic, chiromancy, and pyromancy in all their parts and perfectly. And he hath under his power 20 legions of spirits. Wow. Philosophy, astrology, rhetoric, logic, chiromancy, and pyromancy, all their parts and perfectly. Specifically teaches. Doesn't say that he can really do anything for you otherwise. So, I'm going to put that in B rank, but very interesting. It sounds like a lot of very good and useful expertise to be had there. Now, the 51st spirit is Balaam or Balaam. He's a terrible, great, and powerful king. He appeareth with 3 heads. The first is like that of a bull, the second like that of a man, and the third like a ram. Oh, just like Asmodai. He hath the tail of a serpent, just like Asmodai, and flaming eyes. And he rideth upon a furious bear, and carrieth a goshawk upon his fist. He speaketh with a hoarse voice, giving true answers of things past, present, and to come. He maketh men to go invisible, and also to be witty. He governs 40 legions of spirits. So invisibility, wittiness, past, present, future knowledge. Not a lot of else going there. So visibility, wittiness, past, present, and future knowledge. Yeah, that's like kind of D rank at this point, considering what everyone else has to offer here. Just in comparison, but would be like really a solid demon to work with if, you know, these other demons couldn't transmute gold and shit. So the 52nd spirit is Alakes or Alakas. He is a duke, great, mighty, and strong, appearing in the form of a soldier riding upon a great horse. His face is like that of a lion, very red, and having flaming eyes. His speech is hoarse and very big. His office is to teach the art of astronomy and all the liberal sciences, and he bringeth unto thee good familiars, and rules over 26 legions of spirits. So, teaches astronomy and liberal sciences. Brings good familiars. Definitely looking at another D-rank demon. But, again, like, really solid if it weren't for the fact that there's others who can do so many things. The 53rd spirit is Cameo or Kime. He is a great president and appeareth in the form of the bird called a thrush at first. But afterwards he putteth on the shape of a man carrying in his hand a sharp sword. He seemeth to answer in burning ashes or in coals of fire. He is a good disputer. His office is to give unto men the understanding of all birds, lowing of bullocks, barking of dogs, and other creatures, and also the voice of the waters. He giveth true answers of things to come, and he was of the order of angels, but now ruleth over 30 legions of spirits infernal. So, seemeth to answer in burning ashes or in coals of fire is an interesting line. He's a good disputer, so like a good lawyer, or maybe a good haggler, I'm not sure which. So, understanding of all animals' voices as well as the voice of the waters and answers, true answers of things to come. That's a interesting specialty. So, again, gonna go in D rank, but like sounds really interesting to work with. 54th spirit is called Murmur, or Murmus, or Murmux. He is a great duke and earl, and appeareth in the form of a warrior riding upon a griffin, with a ducal crown upon his head. There do go before him those his ministers with great trumpets sounding. His office is to teach philosophy perfectly, and to constrain souls deceased to come before the exorcist to answer those questions which he may wish to put to them if desired. And he was partly of the order of thrones and partly of that of angels. He now rules over 30 legions of spirits. So what he can do is teach philosophy perfectly, and to constrain, and to basically do necromancy for question answering. Yeah, it's gonna be another D rank, but same caveat with as always with all these D ranks. Now we're opening up another row up here because we've got so many demons. All right, well, we've got Orobus. All right, let's see what Orobus can do for you. The 55th spirit is Orobus. He is a great and mighty prince, appearing at first like a horse, but after the command of the exorcist, he putteth on the image of a man. His office is to discover all things past, present, and to come, also to give dignities and prelacies, and the favor of friends and of foes. Gives true answers of divinity and of the creation of the world, and he's very, very faithful unto the exorcist, and will not suffer him to be tempted of any spirit. He governs 20 legions of spirits. Sounds like a good advisor. If you had Orobus with you, would he just sort of counter Valifor, since Valifor tempts you to steal, but Orobus won't suffer you to be tempted by any spirit? Sounds like a good combo. So, discover all things past, present, and to come. Dignities, prelacies, and the favor of friends and our foes. True answers of divinity and the creation of the world. This is C rank stuff, but the resist temptation stuff's pretty interesting. I actually am gonna I think that bumps up into Mercury territory, because then you've got like a really interesting and useful assist. Alright, the 56th spirit is Grimory or Gamori. He is a duke strong and powerful, and appeareth in the form of a beautiful woman, with a duchess's crown tied about her waist and riding on a great camel. Caveat, I've never really mentioned this during this video, but I'm just using the pronouns that are given in this writing. And one big complaint about the Goetia is that all of the pronouns are male, even when it makes absolutely no sense. So, just so you know, I'm aware of that. I'm just reading it as it's written in the copy I'm looking at. His office is to tell of all things past, present, and to come, and of treasures rid, and what they lie in, and how to procure the love of women, both young and old. So, past, present, future knowledge. Probably treasures hid, not treasures rid. Treasures rid. Locations of treasure. Getting the love of women, both young and old. For what purpose? I think that this is making it into D rank, which is getting pretty full. But I guess that's just how it is. Class. The 57th spirit is Ose, or Voso. He is a great president, and appeareth like a leopard at first, but after a little time he putteth on the shape of a man. His office is to make one cunning in the liberal sciences, and to give true answers of divine and secret things, also to change a man into any shape that the exorcist pleaseth, so that he is so changed he will not think any other thing than that he is in verity that creature or thing he is changed into. Oh, so they even think that they're that thing, and they forget they were a human before. Wow. Governs 30 legions of spirits. Alright, let's see. Makes you cunning in the liberal sciences, so knowledge of the liberal sciences, true answers of divine and secret things, and shape-shifting, and also, like, mind-changing. I'm gonna put this up in B rank, because that's some powerful stuff. Pretty compelling. Yeah, B rank's getting pretty full too. I'm not surprised. I think B rank is where things get really interesting. You have a lot of guarantees of some pretty good work, and also some additional very compelling skills. The 58th spirit is Amy, or Avnus. He is a great president, and appeareth at first in the form of a flaming fire. But after a while he putteth on the shape of a man. His office is to make one wonderful knowing in astrology and all the liberal sciences. He giveth good familiars, and can bewray treasure that is kept by spirits. He governs 36 legions of spirits. So, C rank. Having to scroll to get to it. We've got so many. This is what happens when you rank 72 demons. You have to make space for them. Solomon had to put them in a pretty big jar, I bet. So the 59th spirit is Oriox, or Orias. He is a great marquis, and appeareth in the form of a lion, riding upon a horse mighty and strong, with a serpent's tail, and he holdeth in his right hand 2 great serpents hissing. His office is to teach the virtues of the stars, and to know the mansions of the planets, and how to understand their virtues. We call that astrology. He also transformeth men, and he giveth dignities, prelacies, and confirmation thereof, also favor with friends and foes, and he doth govern 30 legions of spirits. So, astrology, transforming men, giving dignities, favor with friends and foes. That's some pretty good stuff. I think that's more than C rank, but B rank is so big. But is this worthy of an A rank? I really like. I've got to think about this. So deep astrology, transforming men. That's pretty big deal. Giving all these favors, favor with friends and foes. I still think it's B rank is the thing. I think it's B rank, but like kind of towards the doing more than Bile. So yeah. The 60th spirit is Vapula, or Nafula. He is a duke, great, mighty, and strong, appearing in the form of a lion with griffin's wings. His office is to make men knowing in all handicrafts and professions, also in philosophy and other sciences. He governeth 36 legions of spirits, and his seal or character is thus made, and thou shalt wear it as aforesaid. So, handicrafts and professions, and philosophy, and other sciences. Now, that's a lot, even though it's in a very, very short name. And I know somebody who works with Vapula, and it was able to do a very, very good business. So I'm going to sneak Vapula up into silver rank, and no one can stop me. Oh, look at how interesting that is. That just so happens to put Croquel and Vapula's seals next to each other, and they look very similar. With the wing-like marks. They both have a very central cross figure. That's very interesting that they just happen to end up next to each other. Maybe they're friends. The 61st spirit is Zagan. He is a great king and president, appearing at first in the form of a bull with griffin's wings, but after a while he putteth on human shape. He maketh men witty. He can turn wine into water, and blood into wine, also water into wine. He can turn all metals into coin of the dominion that metal is of. He can even make fools wise. He governs 33 legions of spirits. You can make fools wise, your S rank. Your S rank, your S rank, your S rank, your S rank. Sorry, like, I have opinions right now. We need, if you can make this world smarter, then you're on top. So let's see. The 62nd spirit is Volok or Valak or Valu. He is a president, mighty and great, and appeareth like a child with angel's wings, riding on a two-headed dragon. His office is to give true answers of hidden treasures and to tell where serpents may be seen. That's actually really useful to know, because that way you don't end up accidentally stepping on one of them and getting killed. That which he will bring unto the exerciser without any force or strength, being by him employed. Okay, so he will bring you the snakes. And I bet serpent's venom was very useful at this time. Maybe snake skin was too. He governs 38 legions of spirits. So, can bring you snakes and tell you where hidden treasures are. Alright. That's a very, very specific... Oh, man. I'm gonna put that in C. Because the finding treasures is enough to make it pretty useful. And the snakes thing is pretty interesting, but they're not, like... I don't know, I just, like, feel it's more than a D, but not any higher than a C. I love that he makes the snakes come to you. The 63rd spirit is Andrus. He is a great marquis, appearing in the form of an angel with a head like a black night raven, riding upon a strong black wolf, and having a sharp and bright sword flourished aloft in his hand. His office is to sow discords. If the exorcist have not a care, he will slay both him and his fellows. Well, guess what? It's detention for you. This is detention material. I'm not saying never work with a demon like this, but if you're working with a demon like this, I imagine you have a reason to. And you're probably going to be taking the precautions necessary. Hopefully. The 64th spirit is Hares or Haras or Havres or Flaros. Any of these things. He is a great duke and appeareth at first like a leopard, mighty, terrible, and strong. But after a while, at the command of the exorcist, he putteth on human shape with eyes flaming and fiery, and a most terrible countenance. He giveth true answers of all things present, past, and to come. But if he not be commanded into a triangle, he will lie in all these things, and deceive and beguile the exorcist in these things, or in such and such business. He will lastly talk of the creation of the world, and of divinity, and of how he and other spirits fell. He destroyeth and burneth up those who be the enemies of the exorcist, should he so desire it. Also he will not suffer him to be tempted by any other spirit or otherwise. And he governs 36 legions of spirits. So, there's a lot going on here. True answers, unless he's lying. So, you have to put him in the triangle. Will give answers of the creation of the world and of divinity. And how he and other spirits fell. And he'll set people on fire for you. That's nice. And will help you avoid temptation. So, this is like... It's not an F rank, but you do have to take a precaution. So, I think this is D rank. F rank's pretty low populated. Why don't we just put it at the top of F rank? F rank can't just be the sexton. That's not what it's about. It's really more about, like, how often is this actually useful compared to how any other demon can do the sex thing, for instance. The 65th spirit is Andrealphus. He is a mighty marquis, appearing at first in the form of a peacock with great noises. But after a time he putteth on human shape. He can teach geometry perfectly. He maketh men very subtle therein, and in all things pertaining unto mensuration or astronomy. He can train a man unto the likeness of a bird. He governeth 30 legions of infernal spirits. He can transform a man into the likeness of a bird. So, perfect geometry teaching. Make you very subtle, so not, maybe you can be invisible but not quite, and in all things pertaining unto mensuration or astronomy. Mensuration, I don't know what that means. Give me a second. Mensuration, what does mensuration mean according to Google? It means the measuring of geometric magnitudes, lengths, areas, and volumes. Okay, so measuring. And it can make you like a bird, into the likeness of a bird. So, I think we found another D rank is the thing. Is this F rank? I don't want perfect knowledge of astronomy to be F rank. That's what the D rank was for, was like they have a specialty, but otherwise not like really the like most desirable to work with compared to the others. So 66 spirit is Semeges or Semeis or Chimaris. He is a marquis, mighty, great, strong, and powerful, appearing like a valiant warrior riding upon a goodly black horse. He ruleth over all spirits in the parts of Africa. His office is to teach perfectly grammar, logic, rhetoric, and even discover things lost or hidden, and treasures. He governeth 20 legions of infernals, and his seal is this, etc. So, ruleth over all spirits in the parts of Africa. This is whenever they'd quartered the globe and they felt that Africa was like this 1/4 of the world, if that makes any sense. It didn't at the it doesn't now. At the time, they thought that the globe was divided differently when it came to land masses. That's basically how it was. So his office is to teach perfect grammar, logic, rhetoric, and discover things lost and hidden, and treasures. This is a C rank demon. Just like good average group of skills there. This chart is so big now. Alright, we've only got 6 demons left, and then after that we get to figure out what to do with the order of things. The 67th spirit is Amducius or Amducius. He is a duke great and strong, appearing at first like a unicorn, but at the request of the exorcist he standeth before him in human shape, causing trumpets and all manner of musical instruments to be heard, but not soon or immediately. Also he can cause trees to bend and incline according to the exorcist's will. He giveth excellent familiars. He governed 29 legions of spirits. He bends trees over. This is the bonsai demon. The specialist bonsai demon. Alright, so can cause trumpets and all manner of musical instruments to be heard, but not soon or immediately. So with a delay. And he can cause trees to move for you. Okay. I'm sorry, Amducius, but I'm pretty sure you got an F. Because those just aren't compelling abilities. But they would make a fun YouTube video. Someone put you at the front of the F list. Oh, the not being able to do it on time thing really does it for me. So let's see. We have Amducius. Let me double check to make sure that's all. What? Yep, that's Amducius. We're in order. Okay, so I think there's 5 left here. And then what do we have here on the list? Yeah, that should be it. The 68th spirit is Belial. He is a mighty and powerful king and was created next after Lucifer. He appeareth in the form of two beautiful angels sitting in a chariot of fire. He speaketh with a comely voice and declareth that he fell first from among the worthier sort that were before Michael and other heavenly angels. His office is to distribute presentations and senatorships, etc., and to cause favor of friends and foes. He giveth excellent familiars and governeth 50 legions of spirits. Note well that this King Belial must have offerings, sacrifices, and gifts presented unto him by the exorcist, or else he will not give true answers upon his demands. But then he tarrieth not 1 hour in the truth, lest he be constrained by divine power, and his seal is thus. So, you gotta really pay him, to make sure that he actually answers you truly. Otherwise, he's gonna be deceptive. Distributes basically honors and prestigious appointments, favor friends and foes, excellent familiars. Man, that's like not really a lot for like how much you gotta pay. I gotta put Belial in F rank. He's another one of those bigger known demons that it's kind of funny to put him in F rank, because I think that a lot of other occultists would put him a lot higher on the list. So, I don't think I'm going to be reordering the tiers. I think I'm just going to go through the rest of these and then talk about what the ranking was all about. Because I think there's just too many to reorder, and it's better just have these batches. That's just how it is. So the 69th spirit is Decarabia. He appeareth in the form of a star and a pinnacle at first, but after the command of the exorcist, he putteth on the image of a man. His office is to discover the virtues of birds and precious stones, and to make the similitude of all kinds of birds to fly before the exorcist, singing and drinking as natural birds do. Was this the original drinking bird? The drinking bird that you have on the desk? This is the original drinking bird. Alright. Governs 30 legions of spirits. Alright, so virtues of birds and precious stones. And can make bird illusions that are very natural looking. This sure is the bird demon. Alright, so that's like, was it really just birds? What does it do besides birds? Precious stones. Man, that's it. I think that's D level, not quite F, but it's almost in F. Almost. If you're not John James Audubon, this is not the most useful demon. Alright, so the 70th spirit is Seer, Seer, or Seer. None of those sound different when I say them out loud, but they're all spelled different. He is a mighty prince and powerful under a Maimon, king of the east. He appeareth in the form of a beautiful man riding upon a winged horse. His office is to go and come, and to bring abundance of things to pass on a sudden, and to carry or recarry anything whither thou wouldst have it to go, or whence thou wouldst have it from. That was a lot of words. I'm not sure if they mean anything. So he's a messenger who can... He's a fetch and carry. He's a courier. Bring abundance of things to pass on a sudden. He can pass over the whole earth in the twinkling of an eye, just like Santa Claus. He giveth a true relation of all sorts of theft, and of treasure hid, and of many other things. He is of an indifferent good nature, and is willing to do anything which the exorcist desireth. So this is, I'd say, true relation of all sorts of theft and of treasure hid, many other things. Pass over the whole earth in the twinkling of an eye. I think all of them can do that. The fetch and carry stuff's pretty interesting. I think it's like maybe be a B rank demon. If you need courier services, this is where you want to go. There doesn't seem to be any downsides. Alright, 71st spirit is Dantalion. He is a duke great and mighty, appearing in the form of a man with many countenances, all men's and women's faces, and he hath a book in his right hand. His office is to teach all arts and sciences unto any, and to declare the secret counsel of anyone, for he knoweth the thoughts of all men and women, and can change them at his will. He can cause love, and show the similitude of any person, and show the same by a vision, let them be in what part of the world they will. Governs 36 legions of spirits. Alright, there was a lot of stuff here. Appearing in the form of a man with many countenances, all women's and men's faces. Wow. Teaching all arts and sciences unto any. Declare the secret counsel of anyone. Interesting, get advice from anyone. Knoweth the thoughts of all men and women. Yes, you can get advice from basically anyone if you talk to Dantalion. Very interesting. Can change people's thoughts at will. Okay. Is it that he can change the thoughts that he knows, or he can change the thoughts in people's heads? It's a little bit different. Can cause love and show the similitude of any person, show the image of any person, and show the same by a vision, letting them be in what part of the world they will. Okay, so kind of immersive 3D experience, 36 Legions of Spirits. Interesting. That secret counsel of anyone, I'd say arts and sciences, secret counsel, thoughts of men and women, cause love, vision. I'd say A. What's the A rank? Okay, we're going to kind of take a stop in B and then go up to A because it takes so long to scroll around this list now because there's so many demons on it. Alright, there's one last demon and then we get to wrap this up. The 72nd spirit in order is named Andromalius, which by the way translates to man who is evil. It's bad man. Bad man. He is an earl, great and mighty, appearing in the form of a man holding a great serpent in his hand. His office is to bring back both a thief and the goods which would be stolen. Does he bring back Valafor? And to discover all wickedness and underhand dealing. And to punish all thieves and other wicked people, and also to discover treasures that are hidden. Rules over 36 legions of spirits. So, big long arm of the law, justice, punishing thieves and other wicked people. Interesting. I'd say up in B level, specialist rank. But helps you against other demons that were like messing around, in my opinion. So, we've ranked all of the demons, and I think now we want to go ahead and review what it is that we've got. So let's take a look. Let's start at the bottom and work our way to the top, I think. So the bottom, and as I talk through these, I'm going to tell you the explanation of how I did this list when it comes to symbolism. When it comes to the ranks, why I put the metals there, why I made them those colors. So, basically there's 7 planets in alchemy, and they're associated with 7 metals and 7 colors. And the colors change depending on what system you use, but in the Key of Solomon, which the lesser Key of Solomon is kind of dependent upon, they assign different colors to the actual metals that you're supposed to draw, like the pinnacles in those colors that are associated with those planets. So I'm going by those color associations with a little bit of a caveat. They say that Mercury should be 2 colors mixed together. I usually use purple. Here I was kind of limited, but that's basically as purple as you can get. And then Venus is sometimes orangey, sometimes yellowy. Sometimes sun/gold is orange/yellow, but here I put copper/Venus as green, which commonly green is associated with copper as well because it's what it looks like when it's corroded. So that helps distinguish all the colors apart from each other. In the book, though, it is, as you see here, like tin has blue, lead has black. So Saturn is associated with lead, it's black, and it's usually like the death planet in this system. It does other things. It's also associated with Earth and the harvest, time, Father Time, and all of that, which is again why they have the death association. So that's detention. That's how detention works. Let's see. I can tell that looks like the picture's a little cut off for you. Let me pick that up a little bit. There you go. All right. So let's see who's in detention. Valifor is in detention because he tempts you to steal. I don't remember all of these and why they're in detention, but you know, that's one for the books. Go back in the video. You can just roll back the tape. Beleth is also in detention. Aim is in detention for setting everything on fire and being an arsonist. I remember that one. Glaciolobulus is in detention for being a murderer and manslaughter. Raum is in detention. I don't remember why. Being really sus, I believe. And then Andrus is in detention and basically wasn't really doing anything good. So detention is where they like need to learn to do better. They're causing more trouble than they're causing good. Now, if there's a reason you have to work with any of these demons, I'm not telling you not to work with any demons in detention. Basically, they're in detention as a warning, like, hey, it seems like their description says they actively do malicious things, so consider that and what you're going to do about it if it happens before you go about bringing them over to where it is that you're working. That's just good logic. So up in the F level, we have Tin, the planet of Jupiter. Color is blue. And here we have demons where it's like, I'm not sure what the point of this would be just by the description. There's better demons to be working with. Sometimes there's some flaws going on, but it's not enough to put them in detention over. Like, it's just more like, you know, you could probably do better if they're in the F rank, unless you have a specific reason to work with them, in which case the ranks don't really apply. So, Amdicius, Haures, Citri, Zepar, Salos, Marchosius, and Belial. Basically, they all got an F this summer. And they need to work harder and do better. They need to do better to get those crucial mage interactions, I guess. Because all of this definitely has a stake and definitely matters on some level. Like, I don't know what I'm going to deal with when it comes to working with demons after making this video, by the way. If any of them are ever going to be like, so, I mean, I guess I could work with you, but do you really think I was that much worse than Citri? Like, you know, that possibility is there, but I just find that when working with these spirits, that's not really what their interactions are built around, and those things only really come up whenever mirth is kind of at play, and it's usually just to like kind of shake things up or move things along to a different subject. They typically don't really care about these very human concerns. So, D rank, the planet of Mars, Iron. These have some sort of specialty that could be useful, but they really just don't compete with the upper ranks very well. So we have Vapar. Vapar can make wounds infested with worms. Classic example of an ability that nobody wants. Amon, we have Larage, Furfur. We have Phoenix, Halphus, Focalor, Vual, Balam, Alocus, Cameo, Murmur, Grimory, Andrealphus, and Decarabia. Now, up in the C rank, this is Venus, the color green, planet Copper. These are all around functional demons. No reason not to work with them. It's just they don't have like a compelling specialty that move them further up the list. And here we've got Agaris and Visago are so alike that you basically always have them next to each other in a list. There they are. Samagina, Bodis, Nabirius, Renove, Stolas, Sabnok, Vine, Amy, Samagus, and Valak. Now, up in Mercury is where you have a quite interesting list of demons that all have very interesting specialties that are all worth a lot of examination. This is where, like, basically the S, A, and B ranks are where you get the concentration of a lot of very interesting demon work, in my opinion. Maybe the most talked about demons are here, but there's like plenty of like Belial that are like way down in F rank because I guess they were just too creepy. Hazards of the workplace. So at B rank we have Aureus, we have Andromalius, Bael, Bathan, Epos, Berith, Astaroth, Forneus, Malthus, Shax, Bifrons, Furcus, Oribus, Ose, and Seer. Now up in A rank, that is the moon, silver color, and silver metal. Here we have Dentalion, Marbus, Barbatos, Gusian, Eligos, Bune, Gob, Hagenti, Crokel, and Vapula. All very interesting and very good demons to work with, and if there were no S rank, then you would be doing so great just working with these demons. But up at the S rank, we have, this is the gold rank, this is the rank of the sun, Paimon, Bune. Is that Bune? No, Buer, sorry. Bune was further down. Bune is over in silver rank. Starting over, Paimon, Buer, Person, Marix, Forus, Asmodee, and Zagan. Those are the S rank demons. There's 7 of them, and if you work with any of those, you will probably be just fine. Like, it doesn't mean that you won't have problems, but it means that there's going to be like a lot of opportunities for success there, and probably some very exciting work. And have lots of fun with that. Good luck. One other thing I wanted to mention, just like a little tidbit. The order of the planets in alchemy is usually listed in the length of their orbits. I basically used that method here. I just took the sun and moved it up to the top because as humans we're used to like ranking things with like gold, silver, and then, you know, copper or bronze. So I felt it would seem weird to people to have silver, then mercury, then copper, then the sun, or then gold, then iron. Like, I just think that people would have thought it was weird that gold was in the middle, so I stuck it on top. But otherwise, this is actually the order of the planets in terms of like shortest orbit to longest orbit, and I just thought that was pretty interesting. So yeah, there's all the demons ranked. I'm never going to be at peace again because all of them will be angry at where I put them on the list. Thanks for watching this. If you have an idea of how this could have gone differently, an idea of how I could have ranked this differently, please go ahead and comment. Like this video if you liked it, and please subscribe for more demon related content. That's basically assuming that I, survive or whatever. Yeah. Let me know if you have any experiences with the demons on this list that are relevant to their ranking of it. I'm very curious to see if this will help anyone. I think it's just a big mess. Anyway, enjoy your day. Thanks for watching.